Hello Pisces, welcome to your end of April 2018 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here, and I'm shuffling these oversized cards. But these are the Druid Craft Tarot cards. I don't know why I'm talking like I can't think straight. I can't think straight. This is, so here I go. Okay. Okay. Alrighty then. And they do use different lingo, like for instance, I mean not for all of the major arcana cards, but the card that I got down here is called the Lady, and that's the Empress. So, all right. You know, it's funny that I got as the heart of the matter the Three of Swords, because it looks so unassuming in this deck. And if you're familiar with the Rider-Waite deck, they show someone, you know, a heart, like it's showing that. Oh, this one does have a heart. I didn't even see that. I thought those were owls or something. I couldn't tell what that was. But anyway, this is I think I've shown you this with heart. The Three of Swords is a card of rejection. So, because they're showing a heart, I mean, obviously the first thing you think about is in a personal relationship. Although this can also indicate that there are three parties involved, kind of like in a love triangle. But also in the workplace, if you thought you were going to get a promotion and you were passed over, it could feel like a rejection to you there too. And Pisces recently had Saturn. You've recently had Saturn in your 10th house for a few years. So some Pisces people may have really advanced career-wise in the last few years. And so you're on this track, but it doesn't mean that there's always going to be this everything going your way. You know, there might be some reason why you were passed over for a promotion, and it can feel like it's personal, or in a personal relationship. You like someone, they don't return your affections, or maybe they did at one time and then they stop. And then you feel like, well, you know, what's wrong with me? When in fact it's something that you shouldn't even think about. I always tell people that if somebody leaves you, if somebody doesn't return your, is it affections or affection? I always think it's affections. I wouldn't say, oh, it's their loss, because it may not be anybody's loss. It's just maybe somebody is hung up on somebody else, or maybe they feel like you're not compatible. I mean, it just doesn't say anything about you necessarily. And yet that feeling can be all pervasive, and then the person just feels like, oh, nothing is going right. So that's what you want to avoid if you're feeling like this. This is the focal point. So this would be something that you already know about. And remember, this is just a general reading, so don't take it too seriously. If it is something that you're dealing with, then it's kind of cool because it's reflecting it. But don't get worried if it's not something that you're dealing with, because then it's not for you. What crosses you is the Nine of Pentacles, which is a card of self-sufficiency, but you know, a sense of, you know, your own personal wealth. So maybe right now, if you're in a relationship, you're relying on your partner for the finances because you thought you were going to be working someplace, or you thought you were going to have a raise that was going to allow you to be self-sufficient. There's some reason why your financial independence may be threatened, but it doesn't mean that it's non-existent. It just means that maybe something is standing in the way of it. And we look at the reason, and we have the lady, which is the Empress. So, see how she is, I was going to say, see how she's knocked up? This is a card of pregnancy. Maybe you found out that you're pregnant, and now, wouldn't that be strange? If anybody has this particular scenario, please write it below if you want to. But is there anybody out there who found out that they were pregnant at the same time that they were dumped, and now they can't work and they don't have their partner? Or you are in a lover's triangle and you're pregnant. Or maybe the other person, it's because they have a child. See, this is the lady, or the Empress is the archetype of the mother, the earth mother. So this could be the person that your partner is living with or married to who is pregnant. And maybe you thought that you were going to be with this person. Now, with the Nine of Pentacles, however, that is something that is keeping you... Oh, you know what this could be too? With the Nine of Pentacles in a challenging position, it can be that somebody is being very materialistic, and they are like not valuing, maybe they're not valuing the relationship itself. So whether that is that the person you're with doesn't want to get divorced because then they feel like they're going to lose money, or who knows, it could be anyone who's involved. It could be an aspect of you, that you are in it for the wrong reasons, or that maybe you just want somebody to support your child, who knows. But there's something about money and about rejection, and even possibly about someone's pregnancy or being a mother, and that figuring into why you feel this sense of rejection. So, I don't know how this all fits in for some of you. I've been having a couple of readings where, you know, the cards were kind of hard to read. So I don't know if it's this deck particularly, or just that the problems are complicated and it's not easy to just sum up. The spiritual message is represented by the Six of Swords, which is about going towards peace, going away from conflict. Now, I love that color, don't you? I think of that for Pisces sometimes. But anyway, as a spiritual message, you'd think that this would be a no-brainer, but I think that Pisces people in general need to value serenity more, because I think that sometimes there can be a tendency to get involved in very emotionally draining situations simply because you've dealt with this before. It's like old hat. And you don't necessarily think that there's an alternative, and there is. And you may, as a spiritual message, it's not just talking about this particular situation, but maybe in general, that whenever you find yourself in a relationship or a situation, it could be at the workplace, where it's toxic, where you're not being valued, you're not feeling like honored. You know, when I say honored versus valued, valued means, well, I guess that would be kind of similar. But what I mean is that the person that you're working for appreciates your service. thinks that you're talented, and they tell you that. You don't feel like you're always wondering how they feel about you. And that, I think, is so important, because sometimes the people, they deliberately do that to try to keep you on your toes and make you think that, oh my God, at any moment I could lose my job. And that kind of management is so toxic, and it generates a lot of negativity and drama too. So the Six of Swords is asking you to honor peace and seeing how valuable it is in your life. And the advice is the Princess of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. I've been getting this card, and because Mercury has gone direct, and pages relate to messages, it can be that something is you're going to hear from somebody some good news. And that good news is going to set you on a new course where you feel more confident that you're going to have a good life. So whether it's a new job offer, whether it's you can stay at my place while you're pregnant, or, whatever it could be, that could make you feel a sense of being taken care of by the universe, that you're not alone. You may have been feeling that way with the Three of Swords. You may have been feeling that you have been forsaken, and you find out, no, actually everything is unfolding as it should. And then we have this card, which is really about the 0 point, the Fool card, 0. Embarking on a new journey. You have a very light load. In other words, no baggage, or very little baggage with you. And it's like eager to be on a new journey, not really afraid of the unknown, and embracing the unknown. And I think it's really great. It's interesting. I wonder if this is connected with Chiron going into Aries. So Chiron has been in Pisces, and Chiron deals with kind of Piscean themes of suffering, trauma and stuff. And now it's left your sign. So maybe some Pisces have had to learn karmic lessons within the last 7 years or so. And now you're kind of free from that. And maybe that's what the Fool is all about, is kind of that Chiron return, being very, maybe it was cathartic, but by the same token, it brought things back up for you, and now you're moving on. Yeah, I think Chiron just went into Aries, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check. I haven't been following that that closely. And the outcome is Prince of Cups, which is the Page of Cups, and I think this is associated with Pisces. But this can be Knight of Cups, not Page of Cups. So it's not, I don't think it's necessarily associated with Pisces, but definitely with water energy. So your sign, Pisces, or Cancer, Scorpio, an offer. Okay, so right below the Page of Wands, that's a message and then an offer. So if you have been laid off, if you maybe weren't laid off, but you can't work where you work anymore because you've been betrayed too many times or passed over too many times, you have some kind of recourse. And even in romantic relationships, you may come across somebody who's offering you sympathy or offering you affection. It could be romantic, but it could likewise be somebody who's a collaborator, an artistic collaborator. When we're talking about the Knight of Cups, it could be someone who is, who has that artistic sensibility. So In other words, you have this sense that perhaps someone has broken your heart, but you also have other people who are willing to lend a helping hand or are sympathetic to you and are there for you, Pisces. Okay, well, that's what I have for you, and I hope that you enjoyed this or resonated with at least a few of the cards. Of course, it is a general reading. If you'd like a private reading, please click the link below. My website is rainandmoonastrology.com. Take care. Bye.